Hey guys, stock time, and Trading212 are reopening on Monday to the UK. So I'll put the share link down below and in the comments if you want to sign up. They said they're going to be working sort of through the waiting list a little bit, but yeah, should be sort of onboarding again. So that's good news. Looking at the portfolio, up about 4,000 this week, which was interesting considering a lot of stuff is down. These sort of interest rates still looking like they're going to be going up, but the actual sort of treasury market in the US is sort of front running the moves in the real base rate. Sort of seemed like the inflation news this week, they're at 7.5% on sort of full CPI inflation, and the sort of treasury rates are rocketing up on that news before they even sort of raise the real rate. So market didn't really like that. And then you've also got potential war in Russia and Ukraine, or with Russia and Ukraine. It seems a bit of a one-sided fight if that's going to be going to come to fruition, whether other countries will back them up. I don't look too much into the sort of political side of this. I mean, I can't see that this is going to come to anything really. It's not really in anyone's interest. So we'll see. But yeah, this portfolio not doing too bad. Over £2,000 up. A lot of this has come from Pan American Silver and Freeport. So silver price been sort of up and down over the last few months, but has done well recently. And Freeport sort of doing well off the copper price from the looks of it. And they sort of do a bit of gold as well. That's gone up. Gone up partly because of the war potential, I think. So yeah, bit of a shame to be sort of making off that. It's not what you want, but there you go. It's protection. Argo and Hive sort of up and down a little, not moved. I think Argo was exactly that last week. So interesting. And yeah, the smaller gold and silver miners are all up a little. So that's good. And looking at Trading212, not a whole lot of move in the ISO, about 150 quid. The ARCPI is obviously still down, getting hit by interest rates, talk and all that. So, as I say, Argo sort of up and down all over the place. I keep getting sort of small dividends and reinvesting that into it at these prices. I bought about 15 shares, I think, at sort of 78p. But yeah, having 13,000, that doesn't really make a lot of difference. Just somewhere to put the dividends. The REITs are not liking the inflation news, it seems. So they're allowed to increase their rents partly in line with CPI, but there is a cap. So they won't get the full 7.5%. Each REIT is different. They have different caps and different sort of amounts that they're allowed to raise. But yeah, the interest rates going up isn't good for them, and sort of inflation means they're losing sort of on a net basis, if you like. So they raise rents by 3 or 4%, and inflation's 7%. Then that's not very good for them. Digital Realty, pretty much the same. I think this is maybe a little bit slowing growth as well. So, yeah, double whammy for them. But I still like the space. First Majestic, as I say, done really well with the silver price. Even though sort of longer term it's not done too well. Stag down, as I say, most of the REITs. Sylvania had fairly good week, just sort of touching £1 again. So that's good. Recovery in the metals prices. And yeah, the rest of the REITs are sort of slightly down, same as the others. Trading212, somebody pointed this out. They used to have the CFD tab on the far left, and you had invest and ISA. Now they put the CFD tab in the middle, so often when I switch from ISA to invest, you end up clicking on CFD by accident. Whether this is to try and lure people in again, don't know, but crappy little tactics from them. To be expected, I guess. Airtel is down quite a bit, but then has recovered sort of a fair amount. There seems to be one of the sort of big, or a couple of the big early investors, or very early investors, have sold quite a sizable portion of their holding. So nothing to do with the business really. It's just they've held for a very long while. I haven't seen sort of I don't know if the details are public of sort of what they originally paid, but if they were sort of really, really early on in the business, they might have been paying 10p a share or something. And now we're at sort of, 155. You can't really blame them for taking some profit. This is what they do. So, nothing, no sort of bad news there from the looks of it. The tech stocks, the FANGs, sort of taking a real hit with the inflation news and possibly even the potential war. Apple down as well. Apple not quite so much down as Google. What else have we got here? Aviva, some of these sort of up and down a couple of percent, not really making a huge amount of difference. Broadcom a little bit down with the tech stocks. eBay still on the long-term downtrend, but not too worried about that. Still in the green, miraculously. FedEx, not too good. Not liking the inflation, I don't think. Didn't see any news on it. Hymax recovered pretty well. Got down to sort of the low tens. As I say, it's a small cap, so it doesn't take a lot to move this, and I sort of think I timed my buy relatively well in the sort of 10-20s. Brought my average down quite well. Still very happy with the business, so all good. Intel not really moved. Legal & General's down a little bit for the dividend investors. That's coming up in May time, I think, April-May time. Lockheed getting ready for the war. Micron 10.5% up in the week. That's reading about it. This is not any sort of Micron specific news. This was sort of a failure at one of their rivals' plants, which is a little bit harsh, but this sort of dropped down a hell of an amount and has come back up again. Sort of, it's up and down with the sort of tech industry, the semiconductors industry, inflation and all sorts. So very, very volatile. Nintendo hasn't moved. Porsche and Volkswagen are up 11%. I think Volkswagen's up a bit less. But they're looking to sort of spin out Porsche as a business, and sort of they want to IPO them, and sort of they think that'll be better than keeping it as one great big group. So interesting to see what happens. This is sort of an announcement of an announcement. They're saying there may be, well, they haven't announced it officially, but they think there'll be something in the sort of mid-March earnings report. So we'll see what happens. As I say, remember, Porsche stock isn't the actual Porsche company. This is just basically a proxy for Volkswagen stock. So you're not getting a sort of a stock here that's going to IPO. That's a different Porsche holding, which isn't public. Process down a little bit, not too much. Raytheon getting ready for war as well. Renault doing quite well as well. Sort of auto industry does seem to be picking up a little. Rio Tinto doing really well as well. The iron ore price coming back up. aluminium doing really well, and copper doing really well. So their mix is sort of very, very bullish since the sort of lows of like £47 odd. That's pretty good. I've gone positive again. Still positive because I've had sort of quite a fair bit of dividends from them, the special dividends as well. So that's all good. Samsung and Sega not really moving. Shell sort of managed to end up positive on the week, even though it went down a little. Oil, sort of Brent oil at new highs for the last few years. Got to $95, I think, a barrel. So that's pretty good. And well, it's not good for all the other stocks really, but it's good for Shell. Gas doing well as well. What else have we got here? Not a great deal, I don't think. Taiwan Semiconductor almost entirely flat. Tesla sort of down as expected. As I say, this would probably be one of the main ones to go down if we do get a sort of high inflation, interest rate raising, stop the money printers. Would expect this to drop a fair bit down. I don't mind. Tyson absolutely smashed their earnings, up about sort of profits up about 40 odd percent, over 40% I think, operating profits on last year. So meat is doing well, can't complain at that. That was sort of part of my thesis for them and Archer Daniels, sort of staple basic stuff would do well. Vale, unfortunate I was never able to top this up, but that's sort of up similar to Rio Tinto. Their mix is slightly different, but still doing well. Beatrice flat, and yeah, Volkswagen sort of not quite as up as Porsche. Don't know why. I guess Porsche is just a smaller cap. As I say, it's not actually Porsche stock. It's not the Porsche company. It's just 30% of Volkswagen stock. But yeah, maybe it's because it's the Porsche family, or just people think it is Porsche. But yeah, there you go. So interesting week. A lot of people probably are worse off than me, I expect, but you get the more green in the good times, so that's the way it goes. So leave your thoughts in comments below, and like and subscribe. See you soon.